Hello everyone and welcome back to Train Simulator. I am Andre with Orange Cactus Productions. Today we're going to be driving the ST-70 Mac coal train to Barstow on the Cajon Pass. We can begin when the signal clears. We've got our Mac here. Actually, we've got a couple Macs. What's more is we've got an interesting mix of coal containers. Got some Conrail, some UP. Some rear helpers. Alright, looks like we are clear to go. We'll notch her up slowly here. Ooh, that is loud. Sure, our headlights are on. Let's see how far we have to go. That'll be about 36 miles. Okay. Not too bad, not too bad. Gosh, I love the 710 sound. Ugh. So good. So I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm not doing too bad myself, all things considered. Things have just been really slow lately. But I can't complain. Weather's been kind of miserable. It's been very overcast around here lately. In central Pennsylvania, the last bit of heat tries to really squeeze itself out. It's like that last bit of toothpaste at the end of the tube tries to squeeze out the last bit of intense heat. And then into September, it's kind of sputtering out, and then October, it finally starts to get cool. Maybe mid-October. I decided tonight to wear my headphones so I can actually hear the audio. That's great. Yeah, we're picking up some speed. But yeah, needless to say, I can't wait till October till it's nice and smooth. Cool, I mean, not smooth. Gosh, it is too late at night. Well, actually, it's not very late at all. It's only 8 o'clock. I usually do these things later or earlier. Alright, so we got a speed restriction coming up. Actually, I could have just left it in notch 1. It would have been fine. But yeah, August is usually a slow month. Not a whole lot going on. I'm hoping to make it back to Strasbourg to see the 611 one more time before it leaves. I think it leaves in October. So hopefully sometime in September, get a chance to see her one last time and get some good footage for you all. And I just put up a video of some time in Hershey. There's not a whole lot there. because, like I mentioned, some of the scenery had changed, so I wasn't able to do much. And I'm finally getting a handle on some of my camera settings, so hopefully that'll make things look a lot better. Gosh, look at the scenery here. This is crazy. Why is the alerter on? I will turn you off. I will say, between this and Trains, Dovetail Train Simulator has probably got the best for just driving. I feel like Trains has more overall content, but in the long run, Dovetail Train Simulator is just a better drive. Here we got a UP stack train, it looks like. Yep. Well, it's actually... Wow, stacks on a manifest. That's different. Something you used to see years ago. You don't really see that now. You'll get some slowdown every now and again as stuff loads in, but it's really not terrible. It's manageable. Overall, this is a terrific simulator. It's a far cry from when I started with simulators with Microsoft Train Simulator. Gosh, anybody remember that? What a fantastic, fantastic simulator. I broke our family computer using that game. I put so many add-ons. Once I found out the add-ons were a thing, I put so many of them in there. It was unreal. I would probably go a little bit faster here, but because this is the first time of me actually doing this scenario, I'm going to play it safe and just cruise at this nice 23.9 miles an hour. I'll bet you there's a crossing coming up somewhere here. No? It was great scenery. And I know I say that about most of the routes, but this route is pretty great. I want to eventually get the route, the Arizona Divide. I think that's what it's called, the Arizona Divide. The Santa Fe. It adds the SD40s and the F45s. That I'm excited for. That's where in another, this coal mine slash refinery here is where I loaded coal in another scenario. I don't know if I actually recorded that though. I may have. But I do remember it from that. Our signal's looking. Looks like we're all clear. I'm going to pick up the pace just a little bit. Oh, listen to that 710 rumble. Got a set of reefer cars over here. All UP. Yeah, notch your back down just a little. It's a good thing I did, because we're coming up on a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and I would have gone over that very quickly. This guy's going to have to wait for me to clear before he can get going with his reefer train. People don't tend to realize how many essential goods are transported via rail. Just recently, Norfolk Southern and BNSF reopened 2 of their closed intermodal yards, both of which had been closed due to PSR. Whoops. I guess PSR isn't as great of a business strategy as they thought, which has become pretty apparent by now. In the midst of a supply chain, I don't want to say crisis, but if you've ever been to your grocery store in recent months, obviously if you're watching this video months or years down the road, this won't apply. But here in 2021, at the tail end of 2021, there's kind of a supply shortage. Grocery stores aren't very heavily stocked, and a lot of other places aren't very heavily stocked. And there are multiple reasons for it, the least of which being precision scheduled railroading. Other more significant reasons will be truckers are just quitting en masse, and the jobs that are needed to transport all these essential goods are just dying. They shouldn't be, but they are. Okay, now we got a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. So once we get through that, I'll crank it a little bit more. You guys can hear that beautiful 710. I believe the Macs, these former BN executive Macs, had 12 710s. I don't honestly remember. Either way, they sound magnificent. I still got a long way to go. Gotta go to Barstow Yard. Old Santa Fe Yard. The pylons on that bridge almost look like the pylons for the Red Bull Air Race. Just a little funny observation there. I haven't watched that in quite a while. It's actually pretty fun to watch. The only thing I don't like is it appears at some points during the competition they actually dub over the plane sound. Not a big fan of that. Maybe that's the only way to do it so you can hear it, but I don't know. Alright, let's crank it up a bit. Oh yeah, we already got a timeliness penalty. This game says I'm going too slow. Got a lot of power behind us. I'll go full notch 8. Why not? A little behind the time anyway, so it wouldn't hurt. Let's listen to the outside view. Okay, now we're on a downhill, so I really gotta notch it back because don't want to get in trouble for speeding. Now, if we were going the other way, wouldn't be as much of a problem, but we're going this way, and there's a downhill grade this way. So I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. It seems like they've gotten pretty good reception. People just like me rambling as we ride along, take in the virtual scenery. Here comes a UP stack train. An actually more realistic looking stack train. More realistic power. Haven't seen any crossings for a while. Alright, let's see. We've still got a long way to go. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Every time you hear that sound cut in, that's the simulator trying to simulate the sound of a bridge. It's a little bit more realistic, I guess. Just gonna notch down. Don't need to start braking yet, because it looks like the grade is gonna smooth out. But getting awfully close to that limit. You know, with this kind of scenery, I have to partially expect to see Roadrunner go zipping by and a coyote on a rocket chasing it. I will say, Roadrunner and Coyote was my absolute favorite Looney Tunes short series, Merry Melody short series. To this day, I still love them. It's so simple, yet so hilarious. Like, you know what's going to happen, but it's executed so well that you still laugh at it every time. At least I do. Absolutely love those. I could watch those over and over and over again. In fact, I'd like to get a collection that has all of those shorts. Another timeliness penalty. Jeez. I was not expecting that switchover. Had I known, I would have probably slowed down a little. But the train seems to be doing alright. What's that up ahead? Is that crossing? Yes, it is. But yeah, I really do miss old cartoons like that. You know, just back when cartoon violence wasn't as heavily criticized. I mean, it was criticized, don't get me wrong, but nobody really cared. Nowadays, you could not do half the stuff they did in old Looney Tunes. And the stuff they did wasn't even bad, really, at least in my opinion. But you look at what they're doing with today's Looney Tunes stuff every time they try to relaunch Looney Tunes. Take away the guns, and it's just dumb. Listen, if a kid understands that when you actually shoot a gun at somebody that they don't just get soot covered in their face, you've done a poor job of parenting. Just plain and simple. It shouldn't be the studio's job to have to censor this stuff because they're worried that kids might imitate it. But they're also doing it because they don't want to promote quote-unquote gun culture. But that's a whole discussion for another video. I don't want to get too ranty here. Gosh, I love the way those telephone poles are so uneven. That's very realistic, especially on a landscape like this where it's very rocky, very sandy, desert-like. Those lines would not be sitting very even. It's just great. Well done, Dovetail, and whoever else did this route. I am losing a ton of points here. And I actually am going to go ahead and cut because I don't want this video to be over an hour. Well, that's not true. I think it turned out fine last time. We'll go as long as we can and see what it turns out to be. Huh, didn't see a bridge there. What do we got coming here? Oh, another UP stack train. A lot of UP traffic, not a whole lot of BNSF. Oh, it's actually an auto rack train. Neat. Now we got another crossing coming. Am I just not seeing whistle markers? Because I feel like I haven't seen any. Yeah, I don't see any, but I'm seeing the crossings. The only thing I wouldn't like about living in a place like this would be the intense heat. And probably a lot of drought. I would never willingly choose to live in a desert environment. I feel like living in a desert environment would not be ideal for somebody who hates heat. And that kind of goes without saying. I don't think I'm going to get a good score on this one. I'm going too slow according to the game. That's probably because I opened up with the commentary and I didn't get going. But it is what it is. Their coal can wait, okay? It's not like it's going directly to a power plant anyway. Once it gets to Barstow, then it's probably going to be broken up and taken to wherever power plant it needs to go to. But now you got to make sure you get to Barstow Yard on time. Okay. Alright guys, I'm actually going to cut the video right here until we get closer to Barstow. It's still a little ways out, so I'll see you then. Alright folks, and we are back. We're about 2 miles from the yard entrance. And the yard itself is about an extra mile. So it shouldn't be too much longer now. But yeah, this has been a fun stretch of track. Pretty high speed. Junctions are set for you to enter Barstow Yard 5. Speed limit in Barstow is 15 miles an hour. Alrighty. But yeah, I've enjoyed this stretch of track. Just my only complaint about this scenario is I wish there was more actual BNSF traffic, but oh well. The author worked with what they had. Ah, there's the good old Barstow Yard. Yeah, we can see her right there. And again, there's mostly UP locomotives. What gives? This is a BNSF yard. Oh well. Guess everything can't be hyper-realistic, I suppose. Wonder if we'll be able to see the Barstow Yard Tower. Ah, there it is. It's a pretty cool landmark. Been there since the Santa Fe. Yes, I know, I'm speeding. Good old Barstow Yard, Barstow, California. It's a big yard. It's probably one of BNSF's biggest yards. And at the time, I'm sure it was one of Santa Fe's biggest yards. I don't know what the biggest was, if it was this or something else. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little rail journey. I've had fun. Let's just get the whole train lined up here. Probably wonder why I have the bell on. Well, it's because I'm in a yard and want to let any of the people who would be around to know I'm moving. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this little trip. Most of these trips I've had fun with. Again, some more UP power. Come on, man. Here's all the BNSF. I will say the desert landscape is nice to look at, just not a place I would really want to live, especially not California. Be nice to visit someday, maybe, but not planning on it in the near future, considering I'm on the other side of the country. That's not a inexpensive trip. You can see all the yard lights. Now, I'm not sure if it's this yard that's on Virtual Railfan or San Bernardino yard. One of the yards on this line I think is on the Virtual Railfan camera. I'm not sure which one. Give it a little juice here and there just to keep her going at a decent clip. I know, this part probably seems boring. We'll switch to this outside view. Okay, there's the end of the yard lead. I'm gonna try to nail this just right. Very nice. And that's that. So, thank you for coming along for this journey. This is Andre with Orange Cactus Productions, and I will see you guys next time.